Hello, friends. Welcome back to Dating as Humans. This is the channel where we talk about how to date rationally and with intelligence and with intentionality. If you're into that, hit the subscribe button. Listen, guys, today we're going to jump right into it. 5 things keeping people unwantedly single in 2026, right? I did some research trying to figure out what in the heck is going on. Why are so many people single in 2026 who don't want to be single? What are the 5 big things keeping them single? Well, let's jump into it. Starting at point number 1. They are not meeting enough compatible people in real life. Okay, this is real stuff, guys. This may be the largest structural problem. Modern people often spend their days moving between home, work, and screens. Okay, remote work, car-dependent communities, declining community participation, and the disappearance of casual third places mean fewer repeated low-pressure encounters with new people. That matters because relationships usually require proximity, repetition, and trust building. You cannot date people you never encounter. Among struggling daters surveyed by Pew, for example, 37% said there were too few potential partners in their area. 34% said they were too busy to try to meet new people. And historically, friends, family, and school and work have been major routes through which couples meet, but not so much anymore. Okay. The workplace route may also be weakening. Recent surveys indicate fewer younger employees are dating coworkers, partly because of the professional boundaries, remote work, and concern about workplace consequences. Meanwhile, participation in single events reportedly doubled between 2022 and 2025, suggesting that many people are actively searching for substitutes for lost organic meeting spaces. So here's the blunt version, okay? Many people are not being rejected by the dating market. They are barely entering it, right? Someone can spend years looking for love while meeting only 3 genuinely eligible new people a year. Dating apps create the sensation of enormous exposure, but viewing profiles is not the same thing as developing familiarity, chemistry, and social trust. This is super true, right? So how do we fix this? Well, we fix this by trying to find substitutes, by trying to actually find places to meet people. But I'm just highlighting the problem. When we're approaching dating from a rational mindset, we need to think about rational solutions. When we identify a problem, we have to analyze and think about how we can approach that problem from an intentional place. What changes could we make to help fix that problem moving forward, right? All right, let's move on to point number 2. The second reason, the most common reason people are unwantedly single in 2026. People have lost or never developed the skills required to initiate attraction. This is so important. The clearest direct research finding on involuntary singlehood is surprisingly ordinary. A lot of people struggle to flirt, approach, signal interest, and recognized interest from others. A 2024 peer-reviewed study examining 17 possible predictors of involuntary singlehood found that poor flirting ability was among the strongest predictors for both men and women. Poor ability to recognize romantic signals, shyness, and low mating effort also contributed. Okay, this aligns with Pew data, in which 46% of daters who were having difficulty said approaching people was an obstacle. All right. So some items in this category may also include waiting for unmistakable signs before making a move. You're probably not going to see those, right? Being unable to communicate attraction without becoming overly sexual. This is hard for people. Avoiding rejection so thoroughly that nobody knows you're interested. This is a problem. Texting endlessly without proposing a date. Huge problem. I hear people complain about this all the time. By the way, if you'd like to talk to me personally more about these things, you can schedule a call with me down in the description. I'm not a coach, but I will talk with you if you'd like to talk about it. Treating conversation like an interview. I hear a lot of men complaining about this one. Mistaking friendliness for attraction or failing to notice attraction entirely. I think a lot of people deal with this one. Becoming passive and expecting the other person to generate momentum. This sounds like, this is very common. Very common. I feel like in my dating life, nothing would ever go anywhere if I didn't always set everything up. I feel like I'm always the one setting everything up, right? I have a good dating life, but I'm always the one making the choices, picking the dates, blah, 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 right? Now I am the guy, but it's 2026, guys. What do you want? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Technology can connect people, but it does not automatically teach them how to create chemistry. The result is a strange modern condition. People may have access to thousands of profiles, but little confidence speaking to one attractive stranger. This is why I feel like online dating works so well for me. I feel like I have practiced and developed flirting skills, and I feel like I'm pretty good at flirting. Like I think I'm pretty good at letting people know that I'm interested without being overtly sexual or saying weird things. It's just about paying a little attention, touching them just a little bit in like non-threatening ways, just showing that you're interested, showing that you're, flirting with them, showing you're attracted, acting like you're attracted to them. And usually, like if I can schedule a date, get on Tinder, match with someone, schedule a date, be intentional, right? Go to date, act like I'm interested. It usually works out. I have a great dating life. I love it. But I have back engineered these methods just by being intentional and being, I would say, rational about the process, right? Let's go to point number 3. Third reason. Their expectations and partner requirements eliminate too much of the available dating pool. Picky daters. Picky daters. Standards are necessary. The problem is not that people should accept bad relationships. The problem is the difference between healthy standards and a filtering system so elaborate that virtually no real person can pass through it. Among daters struggling to find someone, 53% said it was difficult to find someone seeking the same kind of relationship, and 43% said it was difficult to find someone who met their expectations. Okay? The direct involuntary singlehood study also found that high choosiness predicted involuntary singlehood among women in its sample and was associated with remaining single longer. Choosiness, right? The result should not be universalized to every culture or woman, but it supports the broader mismatch problem. People increasingly filter for the combination of all of these things: physical attractiveness, income and career, education, politics and values, lifestyle, location, height, age or body type, relationship history, emotional availability, sexual compatibility, immediate chemistry, similar hobbies and cultural tastes. Every individual preference may sound reasonable. Stack 15 of them together, however, and the eligible population can become microscopic. In other words, you're not going to find someone who checks everything off that list, and especially at different times. For example, if I'm looking for that, immediate chemistry, but we're only talking on Tinder, it's not fair. I don't know if we're going to have chemistry until we meet. So we have to disregard that one until we meet, right? Instead, let's look at things like, do I think they look attractive in their pictures? Do they seem pleasant in conversation? Are they rational, intentional, and responsible enough that they will actually set up a date to meet? Okay, then I go check for other things, right? We see, no one's perfect. Maybe there's some things you got to trade away, right? But we got to be intentional about this. Figure out what's important to you. Do you want to be single forever, guys? Do you want to be single forever? I mean, if you do, okay. Keep having these super high expectations of everyone. Or do you want to date? Do you want to have experiences? Do you want to go on dates with people? Do you want to hold hands? Do you want to be intimate? Do you want to spend the night with somebody? Well, then you may have to chill a little bit on your expectations. Focus on being amazing. Amazing people will be more likely to want to date you when you find them, right? Now, here's the deeper problem. People often evaluate dates according to whether someone feels like an ideal partner immediately. Those are two big, weird words. Feels like an ideal partner immediately. First of all, you have no idea what the heck you're dealing with immediately. Secondly, feeling. This is not rational. Feelings don't care about rationality. Feelings just want you to procreate. They're just chemical reactions in your brain compelling you to breed, okay? We need to look at the rational behavior of this person. We need to look at like what is going on. Is someone beautiful over here who doesn't respond to text, is flighty, can't keep a calendar, can't budget their money, gives off red flags, but they're beautiful? Well, of course you're going to have feelings for them. Does that make them a good choice? No. Over here, maybe someone you think a little less attractive, but they're responsible. They're setting up dates. They behave like a normal human. Better choice. Better choice. Your feelings may not agree with you 100% of the time. Don't let your feelings make your relationship choices, guys. Is it good to have chemistry? Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have chemistry. Don't misunderstand. You've got to be rational about these things. Point number 4. Dating apps create distorted incentives, unequal attention, and burnout. Dating apps are not useless. I can attest to this. They're not useless. About 1 in 10 partnered American adults surveyed by Pew met their current partner through a dating platform, rising to 1 in 5 among partnered adults under 30. But apps also produce predictable difficulties. First of all, attention is distributed unevenly. Recent male and female users often report opposite problems. 54% of women say they had felt overwhelmed by the number of messages. 64% of men said they felt insecure because of the lack of messages. Okay? Thus, one group experiences scarcity while the other experiences noise, right? Neither experience is especially good for forming relationships. Too much apparent choice encourages disposability is another problem. 37% of Americans surveyed believed dating apps provided too many choices when another option always appears one swipe away. People may invest less deeply in imperfect but promising connections. I think this is true. This is also not rational, right? Yeah, the world is abundant, but don't be ridiculous. Like if I think to myself, my goal is to set up a date. I want to set up a date with someone. I get on Tinder. I swipe until I get a match. Maybe I swipe until I get, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. I message those people. I kind of give it a day, see if anyone responds. Then if I get no responses, I'll swipe, get a couple more matches, right? But if I get a response from someone, sometimes we'll match and I'll send a message. I'll get a response within 20 minutes. And then I will try to set up a date. If we set up a date, I'm done for now. I achieved my objective. I set up my date. I'll swipe more if I want to set up another date with a new person, right? But see, I can just put it down because I understand that the world is abundant. And I can spend time on this person I matched with because I'm not afraid of wasting it, right? That's an abundance mentality. Don't be scarce out here. Have a plan. Actually do something according to plan, right? That's how we get out of this, right? Also, dating app environment, it damages trust, they say. Among online dating users, 52% said they believed they had encountered a scammer. I'm sure I've encountered scammers. 38% had received unsolicited sexual material. Okay, don't do that. 30% experienced continued contact after expressing disinterest. Guys, quit. Women were especially likely to report harassment and safety concerns. Guys, quit. And then burnout can cause withdrawal on dating apps as well. 2025 survey reported app burnout among 78% of Gen Z responders. This figure comes from a commercial survey rather than a definitive national data set, but it fits the broader pattern of disappointment, insecurity, and growing interest in in-person singles events. The app does not merely introduce people, it changes how they see the dating market. Men may conclude that they are invisible. Yeah, I know a lot of men feel very invisible on the dating marketplace. It's difficult. You've got to really stand out to get attention from women these days. Women may conclude that attention is abundant, but trustworthy interest is rare. That's not true, but it may feel like it to them. They're just ignoring guys who don't give them the butterflies, i.e. they're chasing their feelings, not being rational about dating. Grow up. Okay, grow up. Both may become more suspicious, defensive, and replaceable. Yeah, this is a cycle of scarcity, a cycle of nonsense. And then we go to our final point here. Fear, low self-worth, and emotional defensiveness sabotage both attraction and commitment. A person can sincerely want love while organizing their behavior around avoiding it. Yes. This may include fear of rejection, fear of commitment, low self-esteem, believing nobody desirable would choose them, social anxiety or extreme self-consciousness, avoidant attachment patterns, unresolved betrayal or relationship trauma, cynicism about the opposite sex or dating generally. constantly choosing unavailable people, leaving relationships when vulnerability begins. Okay, listen. There are a lot of people out here who just also aren't working on themselves, trying to become better. There's a lot of men with a big gut out here, guys. There's a lot of women who are really overweight. These people, they feel unattractive because they think they're unattractive. And then that does project outward. Okay? It's not evil to have a little extra weight on the body. I don't feel good when I have extra weight. Hence why I'm on keto, why I'm doing intermittent fasting, working out, trying to lose weight. I'm 12 pounds down within the last month and a half. It's because I want to look better. I want to feel better. Maybe get some discipline in your life. I'm telling you what, you'll be amazed at how a slim waist, and for men, having kind of like a nice, slim fit torso, you don't have to be ripped. Just looking kind of athletic, like a soccer player's body or whatever. And for women, having an hourglass shape, you will be amazed at how this will exponentially increase your dating opportunities. And you'll feel so much better about yourself. But we live in a world where junk food is God. Everyone's eating the junk food. Everyone's drinking soda. It's terrible. It's amazing. We live in a world of incredible food abundance. At least your problem is that you're trying to lose weight. You're not starving to death on the Serengeti like we were 100,000 years ago. Anyway, research on involuntary singlehood found that among men in its sample, lower self-esteem, lower self-perceived mate value, and higher neuroticism were associated with a greater probability of unwanted singlehood. Lower perceived mate value and lower mating effort were also associated with spending more years single. Separate research has connected fear of relationship commitment with remaining single, struggling to attract partners, and experiencing fragile relationships that end. Pew also found that 30% of struggling daters believed that others were not interested in dating them. Among single people who had withdrawn from dating, 17% said feeling that nobody would be interested was a major reason, rising to 26% among men in that group. This can become self-reinforcing. Of course it can. A person expects rejection. They approach fewer people or behave defensively because of it. Their interactions become tense and half-hearted. They receive poorer results because that's not how you get results when you're dating. You get results by being outgoing and abundant and high energy and positive and hopeful. And then the results seem to confirm the original behavior. It's a self-repeating cycle of irrational nonsense. Now, I'm not trying to be too hard on anyone here. These are 5 reasons people are having trouble dating in 2026. I firmly believe this. I put this together. I firmly believe that this is the truth, okay? Now, I know that people have feelings. I know it's hard out there. I know you're lonely, maybe. I know you want somebody. We got to start using rationality and intentionality to get solutions deployed to our dating problems. If you're having dating problems, it is a simple matter of identifying the problems, trying things out, and then moving forward, trying to fix it. If you're not actively doing that intentionally, breaking down the problems and deploying solutions, they're not going to change. It's not going to change. No amount of self-manifestation woo-woo is going to change it. No amount of, whatever, buying different cologne online that has pheromones in it is going to help you. Reading books about, about the dating skills, it's not going to help you. The only thing that's going to actually help you is identifying the problem and then trying to figure out what the solution is. Now, in that case, if your problem is that you smell bad, maybe wearing cologne is a part of the solution. Maybe if you do not know how to flirt, reading a book about dating might help you. But we have to identify the problem. That's the thesis for today's video. Everyone, hey, I care about you. This is Dating as Humans, dating channel for men and women. My name is Josh. This is about dating rationally, straightforward, and with intelligence and intentionality. Hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more. Thank you for coming to my talk. I'll see you awesome people on the next one.